Libs of TikTok got suspended on Twitter as well last week, and it was a very big story. And they were the subject of a long piece by Taylor Lorenz, who works for the Washington Post, who decided that they need to be outed, that they are also anti-trans and contributing to, quote, hate. And so the Washington Post decides to unleash the Jeff Bezos resources on Libs of TikTok, which is run by somebody who wishes to remain anonymous, though she did give an interview while masking her identity to Tucker and at least one other source. I don't remember. Was it you guys? I can't remember, but it was at least one other. And anyway,
New York Post, I think.
New York Post. There we go. So the right wing got very upset with the Taylor Lorenz reporting because it was unnecessary. We didn't really need to know who was behind Libs of TikTok. They don't do this kind of reporting for anonymous accounts pushing BLM narratives or trans narratives. It's just Libs of TikTok, which outs what libs on TikTok are saying about usually LGBTQ issues. You have stepped in some way to back the woman who's been outed as the purveyor of Libs of TikTok. What have you done?
So, yeah, I mean, this was a crazy story because there's all kinds of stuff happening here. You recapped a little bit of it, but Libs of TikTok had been suspended twice on Twitter leading up to this. There were all these mass reportings where basically the account was getting mobbed and they were trying to get it shut down. So you had some Antifa groups that were leading this charge, and they were just piling on, and thousands of reports were streaming into Twitter. The safety team that she was just talking about, for reports of harassment and abuse, and the account kept getting locked. So it got locked a couple times in a row. They required that a couple of tweets be deleted in order for the account to be unlocked. So that was kind of leading up to this whole thing where there was this doxing story that was put out by Taylor Lorenz, which, was the goal of that was to expose who this person behind Libs of TikTok was. And it's very funny when you hear the interviews that Taylor gives about this. On the one hand, she tries to say, "Oh, we didn't expose any information. We didn't reveal this person's identity." But then on the other hand, a moment later, she talks about how it was important for us to determine whether or not this was a foreign actor and reveal who this person was. So which is it? Was she revealing the person or not?
Let me play that. Okay, just pause your story right there because we have that on tape. I mean, it's crazy how often the left now goes to foreign actor. It was the Russians. It was somebody foreign. Yeah. That's why I had to do the reporting. We had to know if it was Vladimir Putin. Here's soundbite 5.
I think it's rare to see an account gain so much prominence so quickly and be shaping these narratives in such an effective way, especially against trans people. My story was kind of long, but I really wanted to make the case like why this account mattered. And I think it's incredibly important, as someone that covers the influencer industry, to know who is exerting influence in this way. I mean, for all we knew, this could have been a foreign actor, right? Or someone we just didn't know.
Oh my God. Keep going, Seth. Sorry.
We didn't know. We need to know. So, she felt she's got moral reasons for why she needs to expose this person. And it comes on the heels of her literally just weeks ago weeping in an interview and saying that she had personal information exposed and how horrifying this was and how traumatizing it was for her personally to have somebody, putting information out there that she didn't want out there. But that's literally what she does professionally. And so the hypocrisy there is just absolutely stunning. It's breathtaking. But I saw this as an opportunity. Libs of TikTok is a very impactful account. And I think the work that they're doing is actually very important because what they're doing is they're bringing to light a lot of these things. A lot of these videos are videos of teachers admitting what they're talking to their students about. And sometimes they're kindergarten teachers, and they're talking to their kids about issues related to sex and gender and things like this. So the kind of stuff that DeSantis is dealing with here in Florida, we're based out of Florida here. These are the types of things that Libs of TikTok is bringing to the surface. And by the way, this isn't like these aren't private videos that are being leaked. These are publicly posted videos on social media that are just having a light shown on them and being amplified. And I think that's an important point to make too. But I think it's important that we see what's going on. And I think Libs of TikTok is doing something really important in significant. And so, I worked out a deal with her where she can continue to do this, even if they try to cancel her. The whole point is they can try to cancel her, but I'm not going to fire her for doing this job. So she works for me now. We've worked out an arrangement. It's not a deal between the Babylon Bee and her, but we've worked out a deal where she can actually run this account, get paid a salary to do it, and we're going to turn it into a media company.
That's amazing. I love that. Good for you. You were her Elon Musk. He was yours.
Yes, it's on a much smaller scale.
You were hers. Well, there's an update to the story, which I kind of love, I have to say. Speaking of Tim Pool, he decided to take out a billboard in Times Square calling her out on some of her nonsense. Our pal Jeremy Boring of the Daily Wire helped. And it's in Times Square right now, I think, right? It's in Times Square right now. And it basically says Taylor, I guess we'll show in a second. It'll come up. But it said that she doxed Libs of TikTok. Taylor Lorenz doxed the Libs of TikTok at Timcast. Hey WAPO. There it is. Okay. Hey WAPO. Democracy dies in darkness. Taylor Lorenz doxed Libs of TikTok, which they totally did. And then she comes back and once again, oh my God, this woman never misses a chance to play the victim. She comes out, says, oh, Tim Pool and the CEO of the Daily Wire did this in an attempt to discredit my reporting. Okay. So no. Right? No, they were really just doing what you just did, just pointing her out as a hypocrite. She's out there crying about getting doxxed, and she's a doxer. She says, this billboard's it's undeniably so idiotic. It's hilarious. But don't forget that these campaigns have a much darker and more violent side. Okay, I await your update on how your life became violent as a result of this. She never provides an example. Blah, blah, blah. I'm grateful to be in a newsroom, recognizes these bad faith, politically motivated attacks, and has a strong security team. I'll bet you she's got 25 security officers around her right now with her fake claims of the violence. So Tim Pool responds by saying, I'm not discrediting your reporting. I've repeatedly said it was justified and that publishing a name is something we can argue on the merits. I'm calling you out for lying. When you and the Washington Post denied linking to private details, you published Libs of TikTok's private address. Just own it. He goes on to say, I'm glad to hear you are not upset and your friends and fans are also happy. It's the way it should be. You make a statement, I contest it. All of our points are heard. You on CNN, me in Times Square. Now move on. Here she is. My family and friends are not happy. They have been subject to a non-stop stream of hateful attacks, doxing, there she goes again, and, ready, wait for it, violent attacks. Name one. Challenge. I call bullshit. What violent attacks? You don't think Taylor Lorenz would have run to the airways to inform us all if a violent attack had happened against her friends, her family, as a result of something she wrote? Bull. Happy to hear that you're moving on. And on it goes. And with no compassion or even acknowledgement of the fact that she just did all of that same stuff, minus her fake violent attacks claim, to Libs of TikTok.
Yeah, like I said, it's breathtaking. I love how you read that, by the way. The dramatic reading was great.
Thank you.
I wish you had the clip of her sobbing on TV.
I do. Stand by. We never come to air without it. It's soundbite 6.
Yeah. I've had to remove every single social tie. I had severe PTSD from this. I contemplated suicide. It got really bad. You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. And it's so isolating.
And terrifying.
It's horrifying. I'm so sorry.
You're fine,
it's overwhelming. It's really hard.
I'm sorry. No. No.
It's one thing, if she wasn't actually doing this to other people and she felt that way, you could really feel sorry for her. But the fact that the reason that people come after her is because she comes after them, it's just insane that she tries to play the victim like this. But this is the point that I made when I publicly stated that I had worked out an arrangement with the creator of Libs of TikTok. the effort to dox her was not about journalism. This wasn't about telling a story that needed to be told that was of great public interest. This was about trying to intimidate and harass this girl so that she would be so afraid it would raise the cost of her doing her job to the point where it would become too terrifying and risky to do it. And what I wanted to do was step in and give her the assurance that she could continue to do this. We'll provide her security if we have to, so that she can continue to do what she's doing and not have to have those worries. But that was the point of this piece. It was to make her feel the way Taylor was just saying she feels. It was to make her feel terrified, horrified, and crawl back into a hole and hide and stop doing what she's doing because it's so effective.
I don't need identifying information on Libs of TikTok's creator. I know she's a woman. I mean, I read her name. Of course, we haven't repeated it on this show. But how old is she? Like, about what age range is she?
She's in her 20s.
Oh, so she's young, right? Of course. She's got reason to be afraid that there will be penalties. And, you know, she was, as I understand it, from Brooklyn. It's like, okay, so nobody in Brooklyn agrees with her. So there's a reason why she's afraid to share her identity, because the Taylor Lorenzes of the world have made her opinions not acceptable, right? Like her pushback on some of these narratives. And some of them are insane that she posts on her Twitter. Any pushback, unacceptable. So you're in the same boat, except thankfully you have some job security and some, you know, now powerful friends. And she didn't when Taylor took a shot at her, when Jeff Bezos basically took a shot at her.
Yeah, and they knew that. And so I think that was the goal of the piece originally, was just to get her to basically feel so afraid that she would stop doing what she's doing. And she's very bold. I mean, was she afraid? Absolutely. At the same time, you know, she hasn't really been deterred. You know, if anything, she does realize that this means that the work that she's doing is effective.
Black Rifle Coffee Company is a veteran-founded company serving premium coffee to people who love America. They develop their explosive roast profiles with the same mission focus learned as military members serving this great country of ours. And in 2021, Black Rifle Coffee donated over 100,000 bags of coffee. That's over 2.1 million cups of coffee to first responders, law enforcement, and active duty military members. So you know that every purchase you make, Black Rifle will give back. Black Rifle Coffee imports high-quality coffee beans from Colombia and Brazil, and they roast them 5 days a week at their facilities in Manchester, Tennessee and Salt Lake City, Utah, which means you get the freshest coffee possible no matter where you live. The best way to enjoy Black Rifle's freedom-filled coffee is with the Black Rifle Coffee Club. When you join the club, your brew of choice is roasted, packaged, and shipped free to your door on your schedule. You can buy it at blackriflecoffee.com. Use the code MK at checkout for 20% off your purchase and your first coffee club order. That's blackriflecoffee.com/MK and use the code MK at checkout. Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.